What's going on, everyone? RevBob coming at you once again from the Deadpool Man Cave, and today we're going to be doing something quite a bit different. We're going to be doing a review of Diablo 4. I was lucky enough that I would pre-ordered the game and got access to both weekends of the open beta, and I'm very excited to tell everyone about it. This game is off the charts. Fantastic. So obviously there's some bugginess in there. This is a beta. It's not the final product, even though they're saying there won't be many changes between now and the actual release in June 6th, for those who haven't pre-ordered it and don't have early access. June 2nd for those of us who pre-ordered and are going to be getting the early access of the game. So, that being said, I am a diehard Diablo fan. When the first game became available on consoles on the PlayStation 1, I was in line to get this game. They kept delaying it and delaying it and delaying it, and I was there all the time trying to get this game. Finally, it came out. My closest friend and I, the doc, we put so much time into playing that game. It was just a blast. Playing co-op on that game was more fun than I can even begin to explain. One of the greatest things we loved doing is paving the town with piles of gold, because you could only carry so much gold, so you had to put piles of gold throughout the city, and it was fun. The game was just great. The loot system was great. The gameplay was great. It was one of the first of the top-down fantasy action RPGs out there. Just a phenomenal game all around. So 2 came out. I never did play 2. I didn't have a PC. It was only released on the PC at the time. It was not on consoles, so I wasn't a computer gamer at all at the time. So I missed out on 2. I am going to be purchasing it between now and the release of Diablo 4 just to finally play it, because I never have. And it's available on the PS5, so I'm looking forward to it big time. And so then Diablo 3. So let me tell you about the addiction of Diablo 3 for anybody who has not played it. This game is amazing. Replayability at a factor that I can't even begin to describe, especially with the season system that they have built into it, where every 3 months you get a new season. You start from scratch, different types of bonuses, different rewards in playing the game. So phenomenal game. Since that game came out in 2012, I played it on almost every console that it's been released for. I played it on the PS3, the PS4, the Xbox One, the Nintendo Switch. That was the best. Having Diablo 3 on portable system was just, I can't even describe it. Nothing like sitting in the doctor's office waiting for an hour and a half to be seen and playing Diablo 3. So each of those systems actually have it set up so you can actually track the time that you've played a certain game. I am not exaggerating. I have well over 6,000 hours playing Diablo 3 across all of the multiple platforms that I played it on since its release in 2012. So to say that I've been anticipating Diablo 4 is a bit of an understatement. I have been very impatiently waiting. So getting access to these open betas was such a blessing. I really enjoyed playing them. So without further ado, I'm going to drop myself down to the little square in the corner. I'm going to be playing gameplay footage from the game while I was playing it, and giving you my thoughts and opinions and pointing out some of the really cool stuff that I found throughout the game. So stay tuned. All right, so we're jumping in a few minutes into gameplay here. I have had the character for a little while. I started by playing a sorceress, and it's kind of unusual for me to play a caster class to start. I'm more of a melee-driven character player, simply because I like getting into the fray of things. I like the blood on your armor kind of gameplay. Typically play the barbarian. In previous iterations of Diablo, I played the crusader a lot. Even still, I somehow managed to find range attacks that I enjoy. So get kind of a feel of some of the scenery and the graphics here. The attack that this sorceress is using is actually, oddly enough, a melee attack, which is kind of cool. It's really good at crowd control. When you get several mobs coming at you, you can hit several at once. It's pretty neat how these skeletons create those barriers like that. It definitely is fun. You can't attack the actual skeletons until you break through the barrier. There are several options with a lot of these characters. Like, I'm currently using a wand, but you can use a staff, or you can use the wand and the focus in the second hand. Gives you kind of the option to increase your damage that way, or you can have higher damage, slower attack speed with a staff or a two-handed weapon. But yeah, the gameplay here, it really kind of gives you a feel of just even like Diablo 3, but with better graphics, but at the same time just all around more intense. What I'm in now is one of the game instances. It's a jar of souls. You'll come across these little areas where you have an objective, either to collect the souls from killing enemies. Sometimes you'll have an objective of protecting a crashed caravan as it's being attacked by monsters, and you get the chest with the rewards. Again, your typical rewards in game, I'm not expecting to be nearly as good as they were in this beta. They're just giving us a sample of grabbing some really good stuff, some good quality gear to make the game more fun just for quick weekend long pick up and play. Level progression in the beta was up to 25. The actual game is going to be character levels up to 100. Who knows if that'll actually change in the expansions. All kinds of things could change. It's the way, the nature of the beast with these kind of games, especially when you're looking at playing beta. So I'll go ahead and jump ahead a little further here, see if we can find something a little more exciting going on. Oh yeah, you come across these little scenes which are kind of cool. You can climb up and down walls. It's pretty cool getting from one part of the map to the other and having a little climb, or sometimes you'll duck down below a branch that's leaning across the path. So you'll have the same thing. You basically tap the circle button and you climb up or down. Here we go. Just a nice little addition they add in there. It just adds a little more fun in the gameplay. So I'm going to jump ahead a little further, see what we can come across. Okay, entering town. This gives you another example of the graphics. There are little things you have to do entering some of the towns to prove you're worthy of getting into the town. This isn't one of them, but this is one of the quest progressions here.
You were good soldiers. Worked hard. Fought hard. Drank hard too.
Not going to focus too much on these because I don't want to ruin any storyline for anybody who hasn't played and don't want to jump into anything too much. So let's jump ahead, get into some more battle sequences. Different area. Right now we're all in this snowy area. Oh, here we go. Now we're in a dungeon. Yeah, definitely. I mean, the feel of the game is pretty phenomenal. Some of the other attacks are pretty cool. That electric attack that bounces back and forth. You send that frost wave, that little frost storm out against people. Cinematics, of course, are going to be stellar. You just can't knock the cinematics in some of these games. Diablo 3 had some pretty amazing cinematics that even still hold up today, 11 years later. Just good cinematics, good CGI. There you go. Pretty badass. Definitely like some of the cutscenes. That's one of the things Diablo is famous for, is just some phenomenal cinematics between cutscenes.
This audience is concluded.
Mapping is taking a little bit of getting used to. I'll go ahead and leave that up for just a second. It's the quests track according to the map, which is cool in some ways. In other ways, it's going to take some getting used to. It's just a different way of doing things. The world map is much bigger and open. It's not small area driven like Diablo 3 was. So that's definitely a bonus. Definitely enjoying that. coming up, you're going to see one of these things they have throughout the game. It's called a whispering chest. You can find certain vendors in the area that you can get the keys for these chests. I'm trying to remember if I had the key for the chest when I approached this one. It's a chest that's basically got a lock around it. Yeah, it didn't have the...
It's locked.
Yeah, I didn't have the key for this one. It's basically like a resplendent chest, one of the bigger chests. You get better goods out of it, better gear. Definitely a good option to load up on those keys. I'm not sure how often those chests are going to be spawning in the full game, but it'll be cool if they do quite a few of them, because you can purchase those keys with your items that replace the blood shards. Alright, so at this point, I was playing the Necromancer. In the first week of the beta, you could not play the Necromancer or the Druid. I did play around with the Druid for a little bit, didn't really enjoy him too much. One of the coolest things about him is some of the attacks were transforming into a werewolf or a werebear for some of the attacks, which was pretty gnarly. He's got a lot of nature-based attacks when it comes to the casting and whatnot. But, yeah, let's not just sit around here. Let's jump ahead a little bit. And the Necromancer, of course, you've got the skeletons, and the skeletons are pretty cool. As you progress with the Necromancer, you get different types of skeletons. At this point, I had casters and skirmishers. You also later get a golem, which is pretty cool. This is one of the quests that, right as you're exiting the city,
I sent my sweet boy away for a sin. Heavens above, forgive me.
So yeah, of course, the gates. You can gate back to town. The most recent town you were at, I believe, is typically, or the closest town you're at, you'll teleport to. Then throughout, you get the teleportation pads there in each town, which you can jump from town to town through those. Pretty cool also. Definitely liking the Necromancer with the skeletons. The skeletons are pretty tough. They're pretty BA. That map, there you go. There's another. Region progress is one of the things you pop up into on the map screen. Different goals you can achieve, and you get awards. Usually the rewards for these zone goals are, little title upgrades. You can attach a title to your character that other people see as they're running past you. So interesting, but not incredibly important. So going back in, roaming around town. There we go. Here's an example of the skill tree. As you're choosing different skills as you level up, it's quite different from what we experienced in Diablo 3. Took some getting used to. It's not the type of thing where you're filling up a certain area, then moving on to the next area. You really want to pick and choose the skills and attacks that you want to use for that character. So I was progressing through the summoning, like the skeletons and whatnot. I was trying to boost those skills for their attacks more than my own, just because they're so effective. Sometimes, as in some of the other games, like Diablo 3, you were able to actually sit there half the time and just watch your skeletons attack and just sit back and watch. It wasn't very active for the player, but it was still kind of cool to roam through and watch your minions attack all the mobs that were coming at you. There's assignment. You are able to assign the different attacks and skills to different buttons. So we'll jump ahead now. One of the best things about playing this Necromancer is I did get an opportunity to jump into the world boss fight. Very cool. I got to tell you, I didn't really think I was going to get the opportunity to get to that. Here we go. We're looking up, and as we scroll over, you can see there it is. Ashava the Pestilent is actually spawning. So I went to the nearest town and basically worked my way over there. This is one of the big things people were excited about with the beta, is that they were going to have the world bosses spawning. This one in particular, so we get an opportunity. You're fighting this boss with people from all over. So that's one of the MMO aspects of it. And some people sneak in under level 25. They recommend this boss as a level 25 because it's pretty wicked. It kicks your butt bad. Honestly, I died so many times. I'm probably going to keep my mouth shut most of the time once we get over there. I'm going to go ahead and jump over there just because. Let's see. Here's another one of those instances we got involved in. Watching those skeletons go. Oh, and of course, my all-time favorite necromancer skill. The ability to make the corpses explode. The corpse explosion is just the coolest ever. Every time you or your minions kill something, it leaves a corpse behind, and you have the ability to make that corpse explode, doing massive damage to the mobs around it. So just one of the coolest abilities ever. Loved it in Diablo 3, love it in Diablo 4. So definitely fantastic. Yeah, there's that inventory screen again. The inventory system, like I said, it's going to take a little bit of getting used to, but I'm enjoying it. Oh, here I am. I'm finally opening up that world event, and we're coming up on that big boss. And as you can see, other necromancers joining us with all of their skeletons and crew. Now, as you can see up in the corner there under the map, it does show you that the event starts in 2 minutes. So it gives you a time frame to go by as you reset some skills if you need to. From what I understand, some people in some other videos were saying that some of the skills work better against the world boss. I don't know. I wasn't going that deep into it. I just, hey, I get a chance to fight the world boss. Let's go at it. So let's see if I can jump ahead a couple minutes. Alright, 19 seconds till the world boss spawns. Quite a few necros in here. Mass mob of skeletons to fight the world boss. 3, 2, 1. Now, by no means do I claim to be an expert in any game playing, but man, did I think I was going to hold up better against this boss. Everybody was dying a lot, and one of the cool things that they let you do when you die, it'll show up later when I'm in there, is I thought you had to just respawn, but apparently you can stay dead, and one of the other people there can resurrect you. It's also good, like you saw me doing there, take advantage of somebody else's shields. That attack is brutal. Getting hit once by that thing nearly wiped me out. Go ahead and swing myself to the other side here. This way you can see my health meter. Where you can see some of those attacks when they hit me, man, they hit hard. If you're paying attention, most of what I'm doing in this boss fight is running away, trying to attack from as far away as I can. But that also causes issues with the effect of your attack. So That can be fun as well. Actually, looking back, I was doing pretty good up until this point. As you can see, everybody's skeletons are now wiped out. And the problem is, you need corpses to bring up more skeletons. You can't bring up... can't raise any minions if you don't have corpses from the mobs you're killing in order to raise them with. So that definitely plays around with your ability to attack with those skeletons. That's one of the really cool sorcerer abilities, is that flame snake. Wicked. I actually didn't get to the point where I used that at all because I didn't stick with the sorcerer long enough. But it's a pretty devastating attack. See, there you go. One hit. Boom. Done. Doesn't matter how quick you try to drink some potions. That hit will wipe you out. Didn't quite kill me that time, but if you have any health gone at all when that attack hits you, you are done. Definitely another example of the excellent graphics. I mean, that thing is just wicked looking. Get hit once and run away. As you can see, I have no potions left. One of the cool things they do, though, is when you die, when you resurrect, you start with a full bag of potions. So, for example, when I die, I'm coming back with 5 potions to start with. Now, I'm not sure if they're going to carry that over into the final game, but it was a pretty cool aspect. I hope they keep it. Sorry, don't want to pause the video while I scratch my nose, so y'all get to see that. I think the next time I post a game video, what I'll do, instead of just recording the video after the fact, I'll go ahead and record it during and go ahead and keep the microphone on then. It'd be a lot more exciting to, if you'd heard me when I'm fighting this thing, it was a lot more interesting to hear some of the things I was saying. Actually surprised. I thought I had died more by this point. So thinking back on it, I guess I did better than I thought I did. Until now. So as you can see, if you die, you'll lose 10% equipment durability if you revive at the checkpoint. Or one of the people that's there fighting with you can resurrect you, which will bypass that loss of equipment. And you can see when I resurrected, I started with 5 out of 5 potions. Definitely take advantage of your, I guess I'll call them teammates since we're all fighting together, but we are not in a group. There was no group set up for this. Now you can join groups, invite each other to play together. I did not do any of that during the beta, so typically my choice, especially on consoles, is to only play with other players if I know them personally. Die again. Also, if you look, there is a timer for this world event. So if you don't beat the world boss before the timer runs out, you don't get the kill. So as you see, another player there was trying to resurrect me, but then got attacked. So I waited there until someone was able to come and resurrect me. And here we go. I'm back. And almost immediately die again. It's brutal. Between the physical attacks, the poison attacks. Another nice feature is you can see the other people that are fighting with you on the map. If you notice up in the corner, all the other yellow dots that are running around, those are the other active players. Shows you the big skull with horns showing you where the boss is in case you're a little too far away. Other dead teammates in case you want to run over and try and resurrect them. Dead again. So again, depending on your choice of build, you can build a character and have equipment that all builds resistances to poison, resistance to physical attacks, just like Diablo 3. So it's nice that you do have that option. There are gem crafters, a completely different system of gem crafting and socketing that we've seen in Diablo 3. So a lot of people are saying, oh, well, it's just Diablo 3 with upgraded graphics. It's really not it. They've made almost a completely different game. The way that you deal with the blacksmith is different. The way that you interact with the gem crafter is different. Everything is going to take a lot of getting used to. You can't just say, oh, well, I know Diablo 3, so I'm going to pick up this game and I'm going to be an expert. It's nothing like that. There's definitely going to be a learning curve. Come on, guys, we're so close. It almost seems like I die more than I fight in this boss. Fight. As I was talking about those little titles you can get as rewards for accomplishing certain things in the zone, you can see we've got magic trash, rare trash. One guy's got his name's Overwhelming Beast. And there we go. Ashava the Pestilent is down. As you saw the chest popping open, there was a massive amount of loot there. I ended up going back, and I believe they're still going to show me going through that loot. Those are the emotes. You can see the emote screen gives you an opportunity to interact with the other players. I just cheered, hey, nice job, everyone. Twisted Fear. Everybody's got their little names there. You can actually zoom in, as you could see, closer into your character. I kind of hung out there for a few minutes because I was kind of curious to see if a new timer was going to start up, but the world bosses only popped up a couple times. Here's the loot. Didn't leave it up for very long. I am going to go back into it, so you'll see it pop back up. Everybody's kind of teleporting out of there. So just to give you the idea of some of the items there, you can see kind of the, they have the little white arrow with the diamond under them. Those are the new items that have not been gone through yet. Got almost a complete set of new legendary items from this boss. Now, the sad part of the story is you're not going to be keeping these items or characters when the game starts. This was all beta only, so your progression was only for the beta. Everything I've done, everything you did while in the beta is going to be gone. You're going to be starting from scratch, which is cool, but in a way I wish you could almost keep one character. You know, they should have given us an option just to keep one character just to play around with and save our progression. So, but there you have it. The best part of that video was just that I was able to actually capture the entire world boss fight. So there you have it, folks. That was my first video game review as I reviewed the beta of Diablo 4, one of my most anticipated games of all time. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope maybe you'll look forward to me doing another one. Right now, all I know is I'm going to be playing a lot more Diablo 3 as I wait for Diablo 4 to come out, though a friend has loaned me the Hogwarts game, which I've been playing, and let me tell you, that game is amazing as well. I'm not even going to be bothering with a review of that. It's just too deep of a game. If you're a fan of the Harry Potter series and you have a next generation system, play Hogwarts. It is absolutely perfect as far as what I consider the perfect games, which are the quest-driven action-adventure RPGs with lots of side quests, a long storyline. I have about 40 hours into the game now, and I believe I got about 20 more hours into it before I'll finish it. So it's a good 60-hour game if you're doing some of the side quests. From what I understand and from what I've heard from other players, they put over 100 hours into the game trying to get full completion. So if you're a fan, I don't know, maybe I will do a review as time goes on. I haven't really decided, but we'll see where it goes from there. Until then, everybody have a wonderful day, and I will see you later.